What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Azinga Fuzile versus Kenichi Ogawa, and this is going to be a 12-rounder for the Vacant IBF Super-Featherweight World Championship, and this fight is going to be Saturday, November 27th from the Madison Square Garden Theater in New York City, New York, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on DAZN. And to get into both fighters' resumes, Azinga Fuzile, fighting out of South Africa, holds a record of 15 wins, 1 defeat with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 11 by BoxRec in the super featherweight division. And to list some of his best victories, he has a unanimous decision victory over Romulo Kowalczyka, and he's coming off a knockout victory over Martin Joseph Ward, which was for the IBF Super Featherweight World Title Eliminator. And to list his one and only defeat, he has a controversial knockout loss to Shavkat Rakhimov, and in that fight he was winning big up until it seemingly looked like that Rakhimov took some sort of smelling salt or something that gave him an energy boost, which led to Rakhimov knocking Fuzile out of nowhere when Fuzile was winning the fight big in all three judges' scorecards. And to get his opponent's resume, Kenichi Ogawa, fighting out of Japan, holds a record of 25 wins, 1 defeat and 1 draw, with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently not ranked by BoxRec in the super featherweight division. And to list his one and only defeat, he has a knockout loss to Yuki Miyoshi. And to list his one and only draw, he has a split decision draw, or should I say a technical decision draw, against Joe Noine. And to list his one and only no contest, it came against Tevin Farmer, and that was for the vacant IBF Super Featherweight World Title, the same belt he is fighting for here. But he did win that fight originally by split decision, but he did test positive for PEDs, so it was a rightful overturn to a no contest. But to list some of his best victories, I mean, he has a unanimous decision win over Kazuhiro Nishitani, and that was his last fight, and that was a unanimous decision victory, as I said before. And in my opinion, this fight is going to go in favor of the younger, more hungry, up-and-coming fighter, Azinga Fuzile. Fuzile, I'm a huge fan of his style. In his last fight against Martin Joseph Ward, he looked really, really good. Although it was really, really competitive, it still showed that he's very slick and composed. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of his fighting style. He reminds me a lot of Prince Naseem Hamed. I know I wasn't really alive for his career, but still, I mean, I watched a lot of his fights nowadays, and I mean, he's just a very, very fun fighter. It seemed like excellent style, very slick, had excellent hand speed, great power, and Fuzile reminds me a lot of how he fought. I mean, his footwork is great. Fuzile, ducks down a bit. He's got great hand speed, some nice power. We saw that against Martin Joseph Ward. His great power he does possess, and I think that power will lead to him getting a stoppage win and him becoming a world champion in this fight. So how I see this fight going down, I could see it being very, very competitive, just like the Martin Joseph Ward fight, where either man could be ahead up until Azinga Fuzile does stop Ogawa, because Ogawa does have some good power himself, but still I think that Fuzile is more slick, has the better counter-punching ability, and I think that Ogawa will be the one coming forward more in this fight, coming forward more with shots to the body, shots to the head, because I've seen before Ogawa likes to throw wide punches, specifically hooks, to the head and to the body, and he does leave his chin open quite a bit. But here against Fuzile, I think that being that he hasn't looked too great in his last couple of fights, he had a draw, which was that technical draw against Joe Noine, but in his last fight, he didn't even look that excellent. Even though he won a pretty clear decision, he just didn't look that great as he did against like a Tevin Farmer. But we have to remember, against Tevin Farmer, he was on PEDs. So how is he going to look here? And how is Fuzile going to adapt to sort of Ogawa's pressure, power punching style? And I think he'll adapt pretty well as the rounds go on, and he'll be able to counter Ogawa with a nice shot that will get him hurt and ultimately lead to him getting the stoppage. And I think that Fuzile does have a chance of knocking Ogawa out in the second half of the fight, and that's where I think it's going to happen. I think Fuzile will get a stoppage from the mid to late rounds. So with that being said, I think that Fuzile will start to really break down and start to really score knockdowns over Ogawa from round 6 and on, and he could get a stoppage from any of those rounds. So I think after 5 rounds, I should say, it could be like 3-2 or 48-47 in favor of Fuzile, 48-47 either way. It could be really, really close. and either man could be ahead up until the 6th round, where Fuzile really starts to knock down Ogawa, starts to hurt him. His shots start to land better. He starts to counter Ogawa more, figures him out, and ultimately gets a stoppage victory. It could be a standing stoppage, corner stoppage. He could drop Ogawa multiple times, leading to the referee stopping it. Nonetheless, I see Azinga Fuzile getting the stoppage victory and becoming the new IBF Super-Featherweight World Champion, and I believe he will be the first ever South African World Champion in the Super-Featherweight division. So overall, I believe that Azinga Fuzile will defeat Kenichi Ogawa by knockout, and once again, the stoppage will happen from round 6 to round 10. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.